I've decided what I need in my life is a project. And that project is to rebuild a motorbike. So I picked myself up this pretty tidy looking, about 1969, 1970 Montesa Cota 247. It looks great and it looks like someone's worked on it before. I've picked it up from a guy who has had it for a couple of years, bought it basically in the condition you see it, but didn't do any work to it, or so he tells me. So I really don't know what's going on aside from some polish. It looks fairly original, except the frame is later than the engine, and later than probably this tank here as well. So it's a little bit of a put together sort of bike, but still looks pretty tidy. However, it does hide a few problems. One of those problems is it only has 2 gears, or it only selects 2 gears. So one of my first tasks will be is to see if I can get all of the gears. I'm hoping that that's a fairly simple adjustment. Now, one of the reasons I'm hoping that is that I'm not a bike mechanic. And in fact, I've never done anything like this before in terms of a motorbike. I've done some basic maintenance on things, but this is going to be kind of a fairly total rebuild. The other thing about it is that this petrol tank leaks. It's a fiberglass tank. Modern fuels have ethanol in them. Ethanol and fiberglass, or ethanol and the resin that goes into the fiberglass, do not mix. So this tank has started to basically seep fuel, which means I'm going to have to reline it, cut back some of the paint, repair the fiberglass potentially, and then respray it. The other thing to note about this bike is that it's 50 years old, and if I feel this suspension, if someone told me that the forks and the shocks had not been serviced in the last 50 years, it wouldn't be surprising. So these have to come apart and get serviced. Fortunately, I have done that before because I'm a bicycle mechanic, so I've done quite a lot of suspension servicing on these things, which is good. The other thing I've done quite a lot of is building wheels. So my plan is to strip these wheels down and rebuild them. The only reason for doing that is I can get at the hubs to give them a really good clean. They're a finned hub for cooling, and in between the fins it's very, very difficult to clean unless you can actually get the hub separated from the spokes. So I've got quite an undertaking. It might be a bit amusing, it might be a bit challenging. I don't want to spend very much money. Stick with me, we'll see how this shapes up.